everybody. So today I'm going to make my air fryer stuffed chicken. So I have 2 chicken breasts, I have my cheese, I have my spinach, my olive oil, and the seasonings that I'm going to use, okay? So I'm going to start over here and then I'm going to transfer it to the air fryer to cook. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually split up the chicken breast so that I can get the seasoning on the inside of the chicken breast as well. So in order to have stuffed chicken, you got to open up the chicken breast so that you can stuff things inside of it. So you don't want to split it all the way through. You just want to kind of split it halfway through so that you can stuff the stuff in there and you don't want it to come out on the other side. So I'm just going to make a small cut through here. I'm going to make sure that I don't go all the way to the other side, but I want to make sure that my cut is actually deep enough that it makes a pocket for me to insert my goodies. I'm going to do it on this side. Oh, that one a little deep. This is a thick piece. Okay, so that's good. So not all the way through, but I opened it up so that I can get it in. So I'm gonna put my olive oil on there first, and that's what gives it the crispy crispy shell or whatever you want, skin. Yeah, it gives it its crispy skin. So I'm gonna put the olive oil, and that's enough actually for both pieces. I'm just gonna shake that inside. So use my olive oil first and then put my seasoning. So I have seasoned salt, garlic pepper, onion powder, smoked paprika, poultry seasoning, and black pepper. And if you want to add a little kick to it, then you can do some cayenne pepper or crushed red pepper. But I'm not going to do that today. So, ooh, Lord. So I'm going to put my salt on the outside and the inside, because these are big pieces of chicken. And you want to make sure that you have them seasoned enough where you can taste the seasoning. You know, we don't want bland food, but we also don't want to give ourselves a heart attack. So just be mindful of what you're putting on there. You always want to do a little more spices versus sodium or salt. Okay, so if you can do more spices than sodium, that'll be good. And then of course you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what seasonings you're using that actually already have salt in them, so that you're not doubling down on the salt, because some seasonings, like all-purpose seasonings, might have salt in them already, so you could just use those and not use salt. And then there are some alternatives to salt. So if you already have high blood pressure and you need to watch that, then you can use like Mrs. Dash or McCormick's. They have different all-purpose seasonings or just no sodium type seasonings that you can use, and a lot of people like them. I actually have a Southwest chicken one that I use sometimes, but I still put salt on there because I can taste the absence of salt, but I don't use a lot of salt. So I figure a little salt is okay. It's when you get heavy-handed that it's kind of crazy. And I know this chicken might look dark and you're like, wow, that's a lot, but I'm telling you, when you eat it, it's just gonna be just the right amount. All right, now I'm going to put my spinach in here. And there's not a lot. Oh, is this the way? No, it is not. Oh, it was. So you don't need a lot because, I mean, you can't fit a bunch of stuff in there anyway. So, hey, you really don't need too much. Is this the way it's opened? Yeah. So you're gonna fit it in that pocket and then we'll flip it all over once it's done. So I have mozzarella and I also have Colby, Jack, and Monterey. And I just cut up block pieces because I don't like to use shredded cheese anymore because they say it's stuff in there that makes it where it doesn't clump up or stick, but that stuff isn't necessarily good for you. So I just shred mine or cut. And sometimes I cut too deep, so it's hard to flip it back over. But if that happens, then you could just use toothpicks. But for the most part, it's fine. Put them in that little pocket. Yeah. Very, very simple. I'm just gonna make sure I have a little bit more olive oil on top, just because I like mine really crispy. It doesn't take a lot, but sometimes it's a little thing floats. So now we're gonna go to the air fryer. I have the New Wave air fryer. Not really sure what size basket this is. I think it's a 6-quart, but I'm just gonna go ahead and set my chicken in there. And I'm gonna do it vertically. I don't know if that matters at all, but it's just what I do. And I'm gonna stuff anything back in there that might have fallen out in transit. And then the on button, oh, it's not plugged up. The on button, then I push start, make sure it's on the right temperature. I'm gonna do 350 for about 20 minutes. And depending on the size of your chicken breast, it could be less or more because you want to make sure you don't dry it out, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to come and check on it maybe around the 15-minute mark. Okay, so we're at the 5-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and check on it so you can see where it is. And as you can see, let me move it a little closer. Looks great, but like I said, I like a crispier top, so I'm going to give it a little bit more time. I just want to make sure I don't overcook it, but I want my top to be crispier, so let me give it a little bit more time. Okay, so probably those last couple minutes is all that it needs. All right, so time's almost up. I'm just gonna let the timer run out and then go ahead and take the chicken out. I have made some yellow rice and some broccoli to go with it. So that's what I'm gonna eat. And that looks awesome. Cannot wait to get into that. Yeah, that looks great. And I think I'm gonna get the bigger piece. So yeah, let me go ahead and move that onto my plate. All right, so like I said, I made some yellow rice and some broccoli to go with it, just because the spinach isn't really enough of a vegetable to count. So yeah. The last time I made this, I made a sauce to go on top. I used cream of mushroom soup, some heavy cream, and some parmesan, and salt and pepper, and it was delicious. So if you like your chicken to have sauces on top, I'm not going to do it this time, mainly because I don't have a can of mushroom soup, so can't do it. But if you like sauces to go with your food, I would suggest that. It's a really, really good compliment to the chicken. And yeah, so as you can see, it is so good and it's not dry at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and dig into this. And the cheese that kind of gets under the air fryer basket, I'm probably gonna eat some of that too because I like cheese. So but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you use it, let me know how it turns out. But very simple in the air fryer. It doesn't take long at all. Doesn't use a lot of dishes either, which is always great. So please enjoy.